and welcome back to another video. My name is Stephanie D'Angelo and I'm the founder of D'Angelo Law PLC. I upload videos every week, so make sure you're subscribed. Turn your post notifications on by hitting that bell button. That way you can be notified every time I upload a new video. Today I'm going to be talking about the 4 ways to become a citizen of the United States. Before I start this video, I want to briefly show you how to add subtitles to the video and translate it to your native language. So if you want subtitles in a particular language, I'm going to show you exactly how to do that. To put on subtitles, you're going to come to here, CC subtitles, or you could go straight to settings and click subtitles here, but let's just click CC. Closed caption. So as you can see on the screen, there are already subtitles in English. It's auto-populated from YouTube. And then now if you want to change it to a foreign language, you're going to go to settings again, click on subtitles/CC, and you're going to click on auto translate. Now here are a list of different languages you can change it to. So let's say, for example, we want to change it to Portuguese. For my Brazilians out there, there you have it. It is Portuguese here at the bottom, word for word auto translated through YouTube. So if you want to learn more about the 4 ways on how to become a US citizen, please keep watching. Let's talk about birth on US soil. This is the most simplest way to obtain citizenship out of the 4 ways. Under US law, any person born within the United States, including its territories, is automatically granted US citizenship. With the US birth certificate, you can apply for your US passport immediately. The next 2 ways that I'm going to talk about are how someone can obtain US citizenship through their parent. The 2 ways are acquisition and derivation. Congress has enacted laws that determine how citizenship is conveyed by a US parent or parents to children born outside of the United States. With respect to these laws, let's discuss acquisition of citizenship at birth. The law that is in effect at the time of the child's birth is what controls. What that means is that the law that was in effect during the respective year of that child's birth determines the requirements that must be met in order for citizenship to be conveyed to that child. In general, these laws require that at least one parent is a US citizen and that US citizen parent had lived in the United States for a period of time. So with acquisition, a child is born outside of the United States either to 1 US citizen parent or 2 US citizen parents. Depending on the year of birth, the law in effect during that time is what would dictate the requirements. What you have to do is first determine what year the child was born, second determine the status of the parents, whether only one is a US citizen or both are US citizens, and third determine the duration of the parent's physical presence in the United States before the child's birth. Now the requirements I'm going to discuss are for children born in wedlock, so both parents were married to each other at the time of the child's birth. There are other requirements for a child born outside of wedlock. However, for the purposes of this video, I'm going to briefly discuss the requirements for a child born in wedlock. So here's a chart to follow for those that were born between December of 1952 and November of 1986. If both parents are US citizens, then the requirement is that only one US citizen parent had to have resided in the United States. If one is a US citizen and the other is not, then prior to the child's birth, the US citizen had to have been physically present in the United States for a period of 10 years. 5 of those years had to have been after the age of 14. Age of 14 of the US citizen parent. So after they were 14, they had to have lived at least 5 years out of those 10 years in the United States before their child was born outside of the United States. Now let's look at the chart for a child born on or after November 14th, 1986. Once again, if both parents are US citizens, then only one had to have resided in the United States. If one parent is a US citizen and the other one is not, then prior to that child's birth, the US citizen parent had to have been physically present in the United States for a period of at least 5 years. 2 of those years had to have been after the age 14. Now let's talk about derivation of citizenship from a parent. Derivation is applicable to those children who are born outside of the United States to a foreign national parent who later becomes a US citizen. A child can derive US citizenship from a parent so long as they are under 18 at the time the parent becomes a US citizen through naturalization. The current law on derivation of citizenship is called the Child Citizenship Act. The CCA went into effect February 27, 2001, and it applies to those children that were born on or after February 28, 1983. So if you're 18 years or younger on February 27, 2001, then this federal law will apply to your situation. Here are the requirements. At least one parent is a US citizen, either by birth or naturalization. Second, the child must be under 18 years old. Third, the child must be unmarried. Fourth, the child is a lawful permanent resident. And fifth, the child is residing in the United States in the legal and physical custody of the US parent. So the most common occurrence is when both the parent and the child are lawful permanent residents in the United States and the parent naturalizes. Then that child will automatically derive citizenship through that parent. Therefore, the child will not need to apply for naturalization once they become 18. You do not need to satisfy all of these requirements immediately. You might meet all of them except the lawful permanent residence requirement. In that case, you could get citizenship through derivation if you successfully complete a green card application and then later join your US citizen parent in the United States. Or for example, you might meet all of the requirements except having a US citizen parent. That's the most common situation when your parent naturalizes before you turn 18. You could seek proof of your citizenship through the N-600 application for certificate of citizenship. With that certificate of citizenship, you can apply for a US passport and receive other benefits of citizenship. The filing fee for the N-600 is $1,170. However, the processing time, according to USCIS's website, is anywhere from about 6 to 13 months. You don't need to file the N-600 and obtain a certificate of citizenship to apply for a US passport. You can apply for one directly. When you go to the US passport office, you would have to bring all of the evidence that shows that you meet the requirements necessary to prove that you were a citizen on a certain date. Whether it's through acquisition at birth or you derive citizenship through your parents' naturalization, you would bring all of the evidence showing that you meet every requirement for the applicable law, and then you can apply for a US passport immediately. I think that's a faster way and more cost-efficient way to obtain a US passport and prove your US citizenship. Let's talk about naturalization. Naturalization is when a lawful permanent resident applies for US citizenship directly. In order to be eligible for naturalization, you must be at least 18 years old, have been a lawful permanent resident in the United States for 5 years, 3 years if you were married to a US citizen. So if you've been married to a US citizen for at least 3 years, then you only have to prove that you've been a lawful permanent resident for 3 years. But generally, you need to prove 5 years of lawful permanent residence prior to filing, and you must have been physically present in the United States for a period of 30 months out of those 5 years. And finally, you must pass the English and civics test at the time of your naturalization interview. After the interview, and once your naturalization is approved, you'll get a notice of oath ceremony in the mail where you will get sworn in as a US citizen and be able to apply for a US passport at that time. Those are the 4 ways to become a citizen of the United States: being born on US soil, or if you were born outside of the United States, then acquiring citizenship at birth, deriving citizenship from a parent, or naturalizing. That's all for today's topic. If this video was helpful to you, go ahead and give it a thumbs up. If you have any requests for future videos, please leave them in the comments. Don't forget to subscribe and turn your post notifications on. That way you can get notified every time I upload a new video. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.